Yun. Good evening, everyone. We'll start in 5 minutes. Behave na siya. Ano. Excited na kayo to learn something new? Okay, we'll start na. Okay, sabi ni Rose. We will start na. So our topic for today is all about administrative matters under the specialized area of the FOE. Again, I am Jaylee Christ, Mantala Padlunag, CCO. So, tomorrow din, ako rin yung lecturer niyo bukas as continuation for the administrative matters. Mag-open cam na ba? Haggard pa, Sir Jerome Haggard. Okay. So, let's start. Creation of the Bureau of Fire Protection. Alam nyo ba, bago naging opisyal at hiwalay na bureau ang BFP, iba pa ang setup noon. So parang dati, all-around employee muna ang fire service functions. Kasi hawak ito ng dating Integrated National Police. Kaya siguro sabi ng gobyerno, teka lang, parang overloaded na ata sila. So the BFP was officially created under Republic Act number 6975, which was signed into law on December 13, 1990. Ang batas na ito ang nag-reorganize ng public safety ng bansa. Kasama sa batas na ito ang pagbuo ng 3 major bureaus under the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG. Ang Philippine National Police, PNP, the BGMP or the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, and syempre, ang Bureau of Fire Protection, the BFP. So with the implementation of the RA 6975 noong early 1991, officially naging separate and specialized bureau ang BFP. Dito nagsimula ang mas focus nilang responsibility sa fire prevention and suppression services nationwide. Meaning, sila na talaga ang primary agency na nakafocus sa sunog at fire safety. So the BFP also assumed the fire service functions previously handled by the fire units of the former Integrated National Police. So from that point on, mas naging organized at professionalized ang fire service system ng bansa. At hindi lang naman pag-apula ng apoy ang trabaho nila. Marami pa silang important responsibilities that we're going to discuss tonight. So the creation of the BFP greatly strengthened the government's capability to protect lives and properties from destructive fires. At syempre, malaking tulong ito sa public safety po. So kasi imagine niyo, kung walang dedicated fire service agency, baka during emergencies, ang tanungan mo na, sino marunong gumamit ng hose? Aba, ibang hose ata ang alam namin. Gamitin, Chance. Kaya dapat din nating i-appreciate ang mga firefighters natin, guys, 'di ba? Habang tayo natatakot lumapit sa apoy, sila naman ang unang sumusugod para tumulong. Sana all may ganong dedication. Kung naghahanap kayo ng dedicated, alam niyo na, BFP. So, hindi nag-iiwan sa oras ng emergency. Mas mabilis pa minsan mag-response sa oras ng pangangailangan. Hindi lang po bravery ang kailangan sa trabaho nila, kundi training, discipline, teamwork, at willingness to risk their lives for others. That's you guys in the future. So kaya saludo talaga tayo, 'di ba, sa ating mga firefighters and emergency responders. So, in summary, the creation of the BFP under RA 6975 in 1990 marked the beginning of a more organized, specialized, and efficient fire protection service in the Philippines. And until today, of course, the BFP continues to play a vital role in protecting the Filipino people from fire and other related emergencies. Excited yung mga baby boys. Hello, hello. So, next. Now, guys, the 5 years charter was created under Chapter 4, Sections 53 to 59 of the Republic Act 6975. Later on, these were implemented through Rule 7, Section 49 to 58 of the IRR of 6975. So dito officially inilatag kung ano talaga ang powers, duties, functions, and structure of the BFP. Meaning, the law clearly defined ano ang trabaho ng BFP, ano ang authority nito, at paano ito mag-ooperate nationwide. Hindi siya yung, ay basta may fire truck, okay na. May legal basis po. So another important thing is the law also organized the structure of the BFP, meaning may proper chain of command, functions, responsibilities, and operational procedures. Hindi pa ako kumain, Ryan. I am on diet po. So, RA 11589 or the Bureau of Fire Protection Modernization Act, otherwise known as Bureau of Fire Protection Modernization Act, this law was enacted to strengthen and modernize the Bureau of Fire Protection in order to improve its capability, efficiency, and responsiveness to the changing needs of the community. So the law recognizes that fire protection today is no longer limited to simply extinguishing fires, di ba? So under Section 2 of the RA 11589, so it is the policy of the state to ensure public safety through the prevention and suppression of all kinds of destructive fires with the active support of the community, of course. So the law also aims to modernize the BFP, expand its mandate, improve equipment and facilities, and strengthen personal capability. Kasi habang lumalaki ang mga buildings, di ba alam nyo naman kayo, very high-tech na kayo. So, mas nagiging advanced din ang mga emergencies because of that. So, at hindi na nasapat minsan ng tubig lang at hose, okay na. So, the modernization law ensures that the BFP becomes more modern, efficient, and capable. And of course, prepared for modern emergencies. Kasi ang sunog ngayon, guys, di ba, hindi na rin traditional. Minsan may mga chemical hazards pa. May rescue operations at may disaster response pa. That is why this 11589 is considered a major step in strengthening public safety and emergency response in the Philippines. Okay, it's okay, Ray, that you're late. At least you are here. You are acknowledged. Hindi tayo maabutan ng umaga, Bert. Wow, Sir Illy is an emergency responder. That's how nice of you. So, guys, meron muna tayong mga question and answer para malaman ko kung yung knowledge nyo. Okay, let's answer this question. All of the following are functions of the Bureau of Fire Protection except A. Conduct fire safety inspections and evaluate building plans for compliance with the fire code. Letter B. Develop and implement programs to strengthen community fire resilience and disaster preparedness. Letter C. Adjudicate criminal cases involving arson and impose imprisonment penalties on offenders. Letter D. Conduct rescue operations and respond to natural or man-made disasters and emergencies. Oy, may motor na dumaan. Ano daw yung mga functions ng BFP? So, lahat na ito except sa isa. Talino? Okay lang ba hanggang umaga? Uy, may pasok pa tayo bukas. Okay. Galing naman yan. So, kanito ba tong trabaho tong... yes, the answer is adjudicate criminal cases involving arson and impose imprisonment penalties on offenders because this is under the court or judiciary. This is not a function of the BFP and you are right, guys. Galing-galing yun naman. Kayo na lang kaya tito. So next. First on the list of the primary powers and functions of the BFP is to prevent and suppress all destructive fires. Now, notice ninyo, hindi lang sinabi ng law na suppress fires. Nauna talaga ang word na prevent. Why? Because the best fire incident is always the one that never happened, right? Parang love life lang yan, guys. Habang hindi pa nagsisimula, walang masasaktan. Kaya prevention is important sa sunog din at minsan sa feelings mo rin. Ganun yun. So, hindi lang trabaho ng BFP ang mag-apula ng sunog. Trabaho rin itong pigilan na mangyari ito in the first place. Because once a fire starts, possible itong kumalat, manira ng property, magdulot ng injuries at kumitil ng buhay. Kaya prevention is very important. So how does the BFP help prevent fires? Of course, through inspections, fire safety education, fire drills, enforcement of the fire code, and checking establishments for hazards, diba? Na-discuss yan ni Sir Jason for 3 days. Prevention is better than cure daw, sabi ni Emmanuel, of course, no? Now, when we say suppress destructive fires, this refers to controlling and extinguishing fires once they occur. So this includes firefighting operations, rescue efforts, preventing fire spread. So meaning, the goal is not only to extinguish the fire, but also to save lives, of course, protect nearby structures, rescue trapped victims, and minimize pa yung damage. So, fire suppression is not simply wisik tubig tapos uwi. Na para bang umihi lang yan siya. Hindi po. Because every fire scene is dangerous and unpredictable. Possible may explosions, toxic smoke, electrical hazards, collapsing structures, diba? Gas leaks, or trap victims. That is why firefighters undergo continuous training. So one important thing to remember here is that fire prevention and fire suppression work together, right? Because preventing fires saves lives before emergencies happen. While suppression naman minimizes damage once fire already exists. So in simple terms, prevention tries to stop the fire before it starts. While suppression controls the fire once it's already exists. Both are equally important in protecting the public. But again and again, fire safety is not only the responsibility of the BFP. It is also the responsibility of homeowners, business owners, employees, schools, the entire community, the public as a whole. So, because kahit gaano kagaling ang firefighters natin, kayo in the future, kahit gaano kayo kagaling, guys, kung pabayan naman ng mga tao sa fire safety, possible pa rin ang incidents. That is why cooperation and awareness are very important. Suppress your feelings. Yeah, suppress your feelings, Agatha. That's the best thing to do. Next. So the second one is to respond to natural or man-made disasters and other emergencies, including the conduct of rescue operations, medical emergencies, and containment of hazardous materials or hazmat, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive or CBRNE materials. So, yan yung second function nila. Meaning po nito, hindi lang sunog ang nirerespondihan ng BFP. Because today, the BFP also responds to, earthquakes, floods, landslides, even vehicular accidents, collapse structures, rescuing incidents, and many other emergency situations because disasters can happen anytime and anywhere, di ba? At kapag emergency, kailangang mabilis, organized, at trained ang responders. For example, during floods, di ba, BFP personnel may rescue stranded residents using rescue boats. Kapag may vehicular accident naman, they may help extract trapped victims from damaged vehicles. Kapag may lindol at may collapse structure, possible kasama sila sa search and rescue operations. So the BFP today is not only a firefighting agency, it is also a disaster response and rescue organization. So the law also includes rescue operations and medical emergencies. So aside from firefighting, BFP personnel may also help in rescuing trapped victims, as I said, carrying injured persons, giving emergency assistance. What else? Performing evacuation support and assisting in life-saving operations. Kaya po minsan makikita mo firefighters nagre-rescue sa baha, tumutulong sa accident victims, bumubuhat ng patients, o tumutulong during disasters. I have a story, guys. So, there's one friend of mine, sabi niya sa akin, he was amazed by a BFP personnel who was rescuing someone from flood daw. Sabi niya, nagre-rescue din pala yung mga BFP, no? Kala ko sa sunog lang sila. Ang galing naman nila. Nung nakita ko sila during the baha daw, na may sinisave sila, rope yung ginagamit nila pag-rescue. So, from there, bilib na bilib siya sa BFP kasi hindi lang firefighting, I mean, yung ginagawa nila. So this is why modern emergency response requires firefighters to be trained in different rescue skills. Diba? Yes, of course, versatile. But grabe na talaga sila. For example, they may undergo training in water rescue, rope rescue, basic life support, first aid, for search and rescue, and disaster response because not all emergencies involve fire, as I've said. Minsan ang challenge ay baha, collapse structures, road accidents, or truck victims. Paulit-ulit natin ng baha, guys. Kasi nga, yung flood control na pera, nasaan na. Kaya ulit-ulitin natin yung tong baha na to. So, the law also mentions hazmat and CBRNE incidents. Now, in simple terms, this involve dangerous substances or materials that can harm, of course, us, people, property, animals, and the environment. So, hazmat, di ba? Alam niyo naman kung ano yung hazmat. These are substances that may be toxic, flammable, explosive, or are chemically dangerous. Examples, mga chemical spills, mga toxic gas leaks, fuel leaks, mga explosive substances. And then for the CBRNE, which is the chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive incidents. And these are considered very, very dangerous emergencies because they may affect large numbers of people and areas. Kaya hindi lahat ng emergency pwedeng tubig lang katapat niyan. Because some hazardous materials, again, become more dangerous kapag mali ang handling. Kaya again, the BFP responds not only to fires, but also to natural disasters, Rescue emergencies, hindi po sa puso mo, Gerald. Okay? Medical emergencies and dangerous hazardous material incidents, including the hazmat and the SPRNE situations. Okay. Next, issue implementing rules and regulations and prescribe standards, schedule of fees, fire service charges, and admin penalties in connection with enforcement of RA 9514. So this means, ang haba no? English na English. So this means the BFP is authorized to create and enforce guidelines necessary for the proper implementation of fire safety laws in the country. So this includes, what are those? Fire safety standards, schedule fees, fire service charges, and administrative penalties. So these are all connected with enforcement of 9514 na diniscuss ni Sir Jason with you with the last 3 days, di ba? So the fire code serves as the primary legal basis for fire safety regulations, right? In buildings, establishments, occupancies, and other structures. That is why RA 9514 is very, very technical. So the authority granted to the BFP allows the organization to properly regulate fire prevention measures, inspection requirements, occupancy standards, installation of fire protection systems, what else? And compliance with safety regulations. So this ensures that all establishments follow uniform national fire safety standards. Kasi nga, hindi pwedeng kanya-kanyang style sa fire safety. Hindi po freestyle yan. Hindi pwedeng feeling ko safe naman yan. Ay, dyan tayo nadadali sa feelings mo, te. So, dapat based sa standards. The law also authorizes the BFP to impose admin penalties against violations of the fire code. Of course, because this helps ensure compliance and accountability among building owners, businesses, and establishments. Kasi nga, kung walang penalties, baka yung iba, reminder lang ang tingin sa batas. So the purpose of rules, standards, and penalties is to ensure consistency, discipline, and proper implementation of the fire code. So it also helps minimize fire risk and protect lives and properties. Kasi nga, ang fire safety, hindi hula-hula. At lalong hindi DIY. Hindi pwedeng napanood ko lang sa internet, kaya okay na yan. No. Fire safety requirements must always follow the standards. Right? So that is why the BFP continuously updates and implements fire safety policies to adapt to modern buildings, technologies, and emergency fire hazards. Kasi habang nag-modernize ang infrastructure, church ngayon, kailangan nag-modernize din yung fire safety standards. Next, letter D, fourth one, require building owners to submit plans and specifications of their respective buildings and other pertinent documents as listed in BFP Citizen Charter. So, this, sabi daw dito, require building owners, developers, and applicants to submit plans, specifications, and other pertinent documents for evaluation. Bakit? Because these documents are carefully reviewed to ensure, hi Pao, good evening Pao, hi guys, si Paula is kasama ko sa work, nagre-review siya. So, ano na ba? So, yung mga documents na sinabi ko, so, they are carefully reviewed to ensure compliance with what? Of course, the 9514. The Fire Code of the Philippines, the 11032 or the Ease of Doing Business Act, and other applicable laws codes, and standards. So the submitted documents may include mga architectural plans, mga electrical plans, fire protection system layouts. That's why maraming numbers nakikita nyo sa fire code, guys. So the purpose of the evaluation is to ensure that the proposed building already complies with the fire safety requirements even before construction begins. So the law also states that fire safety evaluation clearance, or FSEC, must first be secured before the issuance of a building permit. Kaya wag kayong malito, guys, kung ano yung FSEC. FSEC is to be secured before the issuance of a building permit. So this means fire safety is already integrated during the planning and design stage of the building. So bago pa may tayo ang building, guys, chine-check na agad kung safe. Okay? Sa the evaluation includes paano nila ina-evaluate? So, ina-evaluate nila, they were going to check whether the building has proper exits, adequate fire protection systems, mga fire alarms, mga evacuation routes, other compliance with occupancy standards. So this process helps prevent and safe building designs that may endanger lives and properties in the future. That's why this is one of their functions. Oh my god, is it buffering? Okay lang ba yung signal ko, guys? Nababuffer ba? Okay, next. Investigate all causes of fires, and if necessary, file the proper complaints with the city or provincial prosecutor who has jurisdiction over the case. Okay, ano meaning na to? English na naman. So this means that after every fire incident, the BFP conducts proper investigation to determine how and why the fire occurred. So the law also provides that if necessary, the BFP may file the proper complaints with the city or provincial prosecutor having jurisdiction over the case. This is very important, especially when there are violations of the fire code, mga negligence, arson, or possible criminal liability involved. So fire investigation helps determine the origin of the fire, right? The cause, the extent of damage, the possible violations, and whether criminal responsibility exists. So the investigation process may include inspection of the fire scene, collection of evidence, witness interviews, mga at iba pa. Madidiscuss rin sa inyo yan. So this function is very important because fire investigation does not only explain what happened, it also prevent future incidents. Kasi po, hindi sapat yung, basta nasunog, yun na yun. Kailangan malaman bakit. Baka minsan electrical fault, overloaded wiring, minsan negligence, at minsan lutong ulam na nakalimutan. At minsan, charger na 24/7 naka-plug na akala mo bang may ka-chat 24/7. Tigilan niyo yan. So the findings of the investigation help improve fire prevention measures. The enforcement of safety standards, public awareness, and the overall public safety, of course. Kasi bawat sunog, guys, may aral na dapat matutunan. Kapag alam ang sanhi, mas madaling maiwasan sa susunod. So the investigation also helps identify whether there were violations of fire safety laws or negligence that contribute to the incident. Kasi nga, kung may kapabayaan, kailangan may accountability. So the modernization law strengthens the investigative capability of the PFP through better training, modern equipment, scientific analysis, and coordination with other agencies. Kasi ang fire investigation, as I've said, hindi hula-hula, okay? Evidence-based yan. At sobrang hirap, di ba? Pag fire ang pinag-uusapan. And ultimately, fire investigation helps protect lives, properties, and communities by ensuring that lessons are learned, Lessons are learned, guys. Hindi bulag-bulagan. And safety standards are properly enforced. Next, maintain regional offices, which shall formulate and implement policies, plans, programs of the BFP with prior consultation from the LGU and monitor, evaluate, and coordinate the operations and activities of the fire service units at the regional levels in coordination with the central office. So, these regional offices, guys, serves as extensions of the BFP central office and play a very important role in the implementation of fire protection services nationwide. So according to the law, the regional officers are responsible for implementing policies, formulating regional plans and programs, monitoring operations, evaluating activities, and even consulting with the LGU. So this setup allows the BFP to manage operations more effectively across different regions of the country. Kasi hindi pwedeng lahat inaantay pa sa central office. Kailangan mabilis ang coordination. So the regional offices also help ensure that national policies and standards are properly implemented at the local level. So they serve as the link between the BFP central office, the provincial and city fire stations, the LGUs, and the local communities. So you know what? This helps improve communication, of course, supervision, response coordination, and operational efficiency. Kasi kapag may emergency, kaya importante ang mabilis na decision making. At hindi pwedeng, wait lang po ha, wait lang po. Tatawag muna kami sa Maynila. Ay, so the regional offices also monitor whether fire stations and personnel are properly performing their duties and complying with operational standards. So, mas effective yung supervision. So, this promotes, kasi ang layo-layo naman ng Manila, di ba? So, kaya naman kailangan talaga ng regional offices. So, with this promotes accountability and better public service. So, the law recognizes that different regions may also face different challenges. For example, urban fire risk. Sa iba naman, forest fires. Sa iba naman, industrial fires. Sa ibang region naman, port fires or disaster-related emergencies. So that is why localized coordination and regional management are very important because the regional offices help bring fire protection services closer to the people. Kasi nga, ang emergency, hindi nag-i-schedule. Hindi muna nagtatanong kung ready ka na ba. Ready ka na ba? Ready na, hindi ganun yung emergency. At lalong walang, please wait for 3 to 5 business days. Ay, aba naman. So that is why BFP maintains regional offices to ensure faster coordination, quicker response, and more effective delivery of fire protection services nationwide. And ultimately, the goal is to provide every community with accessible, organized, and responsive fire protection services wherever they are in the country. Okay? Ito, puro F to. Next, establish and maintain fire laboratories and research and testing facilities in Luzon. So one each for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So the fire laboratories and research facilities, ano ba yun? They are used for, so these will be used for scientific testing, fire research, fire investigation, equipment evaluation, mga technical analysis, and even development of fire safety technologies. So these facilities also help the BFP improve its capability in identifying, of course, fire causes, fire behavior. So this strengthens the technical capability of the BFP in handling modern fire incidents and emergencies. Kasi nga, modern problems require modern solutions. Hindi pwedeng puro tingin ko, puro ka na lang tingin dyan. So dapat may research at scientific basis So the establishment of laboratories also improves the accuracy and credibility of fire investigations, di ba? Kasi nga, ang fire investigation, hindi pwedeng guess-guess lang. So, di ba, evidence-based. So this law recognizes that firefighting and emergency response continue to evolve due to new technologies, modern infrastructure, industrial development, and emerging fire hazards. That is why research and innovation are very important. Kasi nga, habang nag-a-advance ang technology, dapat advance din ang PFP. Next. So, under also the 11589, the BFP, the BFP is authorized to conduct trainings. Training saan? For BFP personnel, fire volunteers. Sino mga fire volunteers dito? Yes, Nicole. Dito makikita nai-examine nila. Kaya importante talaga yung mga laboratories. So, saan na ba tayo? So yes, nag-training sila sa mga practitioners and fire volunteer organizations. So these trainings are very important because modern emergencies require skilled, knowledgeable, and properly trained responders. So the trainings are conducted in coordination with the LGU. So this promotes cooperation and strengthens local emergency responses capability. So the modernization law recognizes that training as one of the most important investments in public safety. Diba? Kasi sa emergency, hindi pwedeng bahala na. Kailangan trained or prepared. Kasi kapag may sunog or disaster, walang tutorial mode at lalong walang practice muna tayo. Classic mode muna tayo. Or ML yarn. So these trainings help responders improve technical skills, right? Physical preparedness, emergency response capability, mga decision making and coordination during incidents. So they also ensure that responders know how to properly use firefighting equipment, mga rescue tools, and iba pa. So, and because emergencies continue to evolve, continuous training is very important kasi nga ang skills kailangan ini-improve. Hindi pwedeng stock knowledge since 2010. Aba, pwede ba yun? Kasi habang nag-a-advance ang technology, dapat updated din ang responders. The law also encourages the participation of volunteers and community-based responders. So this is important because in many emergencies, guys, community volunteers are among the first people to provide assistance. Yes, tama. Sa'yo din, walang Timex. Timex muna. So, kaya nga, malaking tulong ang trained volunteers, guys, because, as I've said, the community volunteers are among the first people to provide assistance, diba? So, this law aims to create BFP that is highly skilled, well-trained, technically capable, and prepared for modern emergencies. Next, we have here, conduct monthly fire prevention campaigns and information drives in partnership with the LGUs, the ILG, DOT, and economic zones. So the purpose of these campaigns, maya na mag-ML Ray Ray ah. Di ba lagi akong MVP Ray Ray? Sure ba sa kanila? So the purpose of these campaigns is to educate the public regarding fire safety awareness, fire prevention practices, emergency preparedness, ano pa? Evacuation procedures and proper response during fire incidents. So, the BFP conducts seminars, mga drills, di ba nakikita nyo naman? Sana nag-attend kayo. Demonstrations, ganon. So these programs help communities become more aware and prepared. Kasi fire safety, responsibilidad ng lahat. Right? Hindi lang ng bombero. So the law recognizes that fire incidents can actually be prevented through proper awareness and discipline. Iba pa rin yung may alam. Lamang ang may alam. Kasi minsan, simpleng reminder lang, nakakaiwas na ng sunog like unplugging appliances, avoid overloaded outlets, proper LPG handling, at tamang paggamit ng electrical wiring. Diba? Minsan, maliit na bagay, akala nyo maliit na bagay lang yung mga reminders, guys. But no, malaking sunog na ang pwedeng maiwasan dyan. The fire prevention campaigns help build cooperation with the government agencies. Hindi ako Angela user, guys. All around ako. So, government agencies, businesses, ano pa, schools, communities, and ordinary citizens. Kasi sa emergency, importante ang prepared na komunidad. At hindi pwedeng pahala na kapag may sunog na. Preparation should happen before the emergency. Of course, the BFP also uses these campaigns to promote a culture of safety and preparedness nationwide. Kasi ang goal, hindi lang magresponde sa sunog, kundi maiwasan mismo ang sunog. Next. So, under this law, mandates the BFP to develop and implement a comprehensive fire safety and protection program to strengthen national and local fire safety capability. May drills po ba sa pag-ibig para malaman naming safety din kami? Wala, guys. Based on experience na lang talaga yung labanan natin dyan. So, pag hindi ka marunong mag-lesson learn, masasaktan ka na naman ulit. Sheila, tandaan mo yan. So, again, this program, guys, as you can see sa screen, this aims to strengthen government capability, build fire-resilient communities, reduce disaster risks, and improve emergency preparedness and response. And of course, promote fire prevention and public awareness. So the law, guys, encourages the participation of 5 volunteer brigades, community responders, and volunteer organizations. So the program may include community drills, mga fire prevention seminars, mga emergency preparedness training, and disaster risk reduction activities. So the goal is to create communities that are informed, prepared, organized, and resilient. Big word, resilient. Public safety is a shared responsibility again and again between the government and the community. It's okay sa promo if you're late, at least you are here. Okay, and the last three. So the Republic Act 11589 authorizes the BFP to exercise additional powers necessary for effective protection and emergency response operations. So under the law, the BFP may enter into contracts and agreements to request assistance from government agencies and perform other functions assigned by the President or the DILG secretary. So these powers allow the BFP to acquire equipment, improve facilities, modernize operations, and strengthen emergency response capability. So, of course, the BFP may also coordinate with the PMP, AFP, LGU, and other government agencies. So, ano yung mga coordination na na-involve? For example, personal support, equipment assistance, mga logistics, and operational coordination during emergencies. So, anong last three na lang? Hindi pa to. So, RA 11589 strengthens interagency cooperation, resource sharing, and unified emergency response to ensure faster, more efficient, and modern public safety services. So, yun po yung mga power and functions ng BFP. Lalabas po yan, sasabihin yan, the following are the power and functions of the BFP except. Okay? Basahin nyo maigi kasi may except yan sa lahat. Baka nakakita lang kayo ng familiar words, shade na kayo ng shade. Hindi po ganun yun. Now, let's proceed to omnibus rules on appointments and other human resource action. In short, ORA-ORA. ORA-ORA yan, guys. So, the 2017 ORA-ORA issued by the Civil Service Commission. So these rules provide the guidelines on appointments, promotions, transfers, reassignments, and other personal actions in the government. 'Di ba, last night may inask ako. Last night pa ba 'yun? So konti lang yung nakasagot. So dapat after ko mag-ask ulit, marami nang nakasagot nun. So the purpose of these rules is to ensure that hiring and personal actions in government are fair, transparent, merit-based, and consistent with civil service rules and regulation. Dapat sa government service, hindi pwedeng may kakilala ako. Dapat qualified talaga. So these rules also strengthen professionalism and accountability in public service. Kasi ang public office, public trust dapat yan. Ibang trust ha. Okay, question. Sumagot kayo. Pag di kayo sumagot, chance. So, an appointment is issued to a person who meets the education, experience, and training requirements of the position but lacks the required eligibility is known as what appointment? Is it permanent appointment, coterminous appointment, temporary appointment, or substitute appointment? Show your answers. I'm waiting for your answers, guys. No, baby. The answer is temporary appointment po yun. Discuss natin isa-isa yung mga employment status. Employment status, ha? So, one type of employment status under the civil service is permanent appointment. Temporary lang sa kanya. Sagot ni Sir Premo, guys, is C. Kasi nga, temporary lang sa kanya. Ganun naman talaga kayo. Mga lalaki, temporary lang lahat. Sa simula lang kayo. Ay, charis. So, guys, ulit. So, this is shown in the screen. Permanent appointment. So, this is given to a person who completely meets all qualification standards of the position. When we say complete, walang kulang, of course. The employee already has the required, for example, education, eligibility, ganon. So, halimbawa, ang position requires college graduate at civil service eligibility. Kapag kumpleto lahat yan, permanent appointment na pwedeng ibigay. So, the important thing to remember is this. Permanent appointment means the government already recognizes the employee as fully qualified for the position. Kaya stable ang status niya at may security of tenure siya. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya basta-bastang matatanggal without legal cause and due process. So, like regular employee talaga siya sa government service. Kaya kapag permanent employee, hindi lang dahil magaling sa interview. Hindi dahil favorite ni boss. Talagang pasado sa standards. Kasi sa civil service, hindi pwedeng, oh, trust me bro, kaya ko yan. Trust me bro, kaya yan ng bata ko. Hindi po ganun. Dapat documented and qualified. Next. Let's go to temporary appointment. Ito. Temporary appointment is very different from permanent appointment. Of course, spelling pa lang, ibang-iba na. Why? Kasi may kulang na qualification. A temporary appointment is issued when there is no available applicant who fully meets all the qualification requirements of the position. Ano ibig sabihin nun? kailangan mapunan agad ang posisyon guys na vacant kahit wala pang fully qualified applicant. Usually, the employee already has education, training, and experience, pero maybe kulang sa eligibility. For example, graduate siya, may seminars, may experience, pero walang eligibility. So, pwede mo na siyang ma-appoint temporarily. So, temporary appointment is also limited in duration po and subject to renewal rules. So, they shall not to exceed 12 months and may only be reviewed once. Kasi nga, hindi siya intended maging forever. Kasi nga, walang forever. Sus. Parang sinabi ng agency, qualified ka naman, pero kailangan mo munang kumpletuhin ang requirements mo. Parang student lang na pasado sa attendance and quizzes, pero hindi pa nakakapag-final exam. So, hindi pa officially graduate. Ganun po yung temporary appointment. Next question. Relax lang po. Walang Gcash, Mark Chloe. Hindi kayo sumasagot sa ano ko. So, next, an employee who was separated from service without delinquency or misconduct is restored either to the same position or item without issuance of appointment or to comparable position if the original position was abolished. Sobrang haba ng English na to. Let me see your answers. The answer is reinstatement. So, before we're going to discuss reinstatement, discuss muna natin ano yung original appointment. So, you can see, original appointment refers to initial entry into the career or non-career service subject to probationary period under the Rule 5 of 2017 ORA. So in simple terms guys, original appointment means first time mong papasok sa government service. Ito yung pinakaunang appointment ng isang tao sa isang government position. Kapag original appointment, hindi pa regular agad ang employee because he or she must first undergo a probationary period. So the duration of probationary period po is generally 6 months or depending on the duration required by the position. So during this period, the employee undergoes character investigation and assessment of capability to perform the duties of the position, of the said position. So this is to determine whether the employee is fit and qualified to continue in government service. So halimbawa, si Sheila ay newly hired sa government agency. Since first time niyang papasok sa government service, ang appointment niya is considered an original appointment. So for the next 6 months niyan, oobserbahan muna ang kanyang performance, behavior, attendance, discipline, at capability to perform his or her duties. So if satisfactory ang kanyang performance, magiging regular employee siya. But if unsatisfactory ang performance or conduct during probationary period, pwedeng ma-terminate ang kanyang appointment. So, in short, original appointment is the first entry into government service. whether career or non-career, and it is subject to probationary period. And during probation, the, the employee's performance, the conduct, the capability are evaluated to determine fitness for permanent government service. Yun po yung original appointment. Next, we have this promotion. Promotion means umaangat ang employee sa mas mataas na hindi mo first time, Ray? Good taste and excellence. So again guys, promotion means umaangat ang employee sa mas mataas na posisyon. So this involves higher duties, bigger responsibilities, and usually higher salary. Sana all. So ang keyword po dito is advancement. Paakyat ang movement. For example, admin assistant ka, naging admin officer ka na. O kaya, fire officer ka, naging senior fire officer. So kapag promotion, mas mataas na posisyon na yon. Hindi lang lipat ng office, hindi lang dagdag assignment, career growth na siya. And because mas mataas na posisyon, mas mataas din ang expectations, of course. Kaya kapag promoted, hindi lang sweldo ang tumataas, pati hairline, pati stress level minsan, at minsan pati eye bags. So the civil service also emphasizes merit and fitness in promotion. Ibig sabihin po, dapat based sa qualifications, performance, competence, at potential. Kasi hindi pwedeng na-promote kasi close ka kay boss. Dapat deserve. Okay? So under the rules, dependency of an admin case shall not automatically prevent an employee from being promoted. Listen guys. So habang ongoing pa lang ang case at wala pang final decision, pwede pa rin makonsider for promotion ang employee. However, kapag napatunayang guilty ang employee, ang napatawan ng demotion, suspension, or fine, disqualified siya for promotion during the period of penalty. So in the case of demotion, the employee is disqualified to promotion within 1 year. Halimbawa, suspended for 3 months. Then disqualified for promotion during that 3-month period. Pag demoted, cannot be promoted within a year. So ang goal ng rule is to maintain discipline and integrity in public service. Anong kabet? Ba't naman kabet ni boss? So promotion, di ba, is the advancement of a career employee from one person to another with increased duties, responsibilities, and of course, usually higher salary. Next, transfer. Now, let's discuss what is transfer. Transfer means lumilipat ang employee from one position to another position with the same rank, same level, same salary. Tandaan nyo, ang transfer daw means lumilipat ang employee from one position to another position pero same lang ang rank, same lang ang level, same lang po ang salary. So, ang keyword dito is lipat pero pantay. Hindi siya promotion kasi walang taas ng rank at hindi rin demotion kasi walang baba ang salary. For example, HR officer ka sa Region X, tapos nilipat ka sa HR officer sa Region 5. So, same position, same salary, same level. Nagbago lang ng assignment or office. So, transfer is movement only, not career advancement po. So, what are the requirements ba for transfer? So, the employee po must receive a written notice of at least 30 days before the effective date. So, dapat may advance notice po yun. Hindi pwedeng surprise. Bukas na sa Mindanao ka na. Ay, naku. Basta reklamo to. Pangalawa, the employee must submit a written notice of acceptance within 30 days from receipt of the notice. So, after matanggap ang transfer order, the employee has 30 days to respond. Pero, if the employee does not respond Within 30 days, the transfer is deemed approved. So silence means acceptance. Kapag walang reply, scene zone means yes. So if the employee, at ito naman, if the employee fails to transfer on the specific date, the employee shall be deemed resigned. Naku po, kaya huwag kayong reklamador dyan. Kasi nga, if the employee fails to transfer the specified date, and then what? The employee shall be deemed resigned. So kapag hindi sumipot sa bagong assignment without valid reason, it may be treated as resignation from service. Tandaan nyo yan, guys. However, the employee may still be reappointed or reemployed subject to the usual hiring process. Halimbawa, si Fire Officer Cruz from Quezon City Fire Station ay nilipat sa Manila Fire District. Same rank pa rin siya. On same salary grade. So this is considered a transfer, not promotion. If tinanggap niya ang transfer, kailangan siyang mag-report sa bagong assignment on the specified date. But if hindi siya sumipot without proper justification, he may be considered resign. Ganun yun, guys. Reinstatement, papunta tayo dyan. Dito muna tayo sa re-employment. So re-employment means bumabalik. Uy, sana all. So bumabalik sa government service ang isang dating government employee. Yun po yung re-employment. So ang keyword dito is return to government service. So this applies to people who separated from government due to retirement or reorganization, reduction in force, or other non-disciplinary reasons. Non-disciplinary ha? So ibig sabihin hindi siya natanggal dahil may kasalanan. Talagang na-separate lang siya due to mentioned circumstances. Then later on, nag-apply ulit sa government, that is re-employment. So unlike transfer or promotion na currently employed pa rin, sa re-employment guys, nakaalis muna siya sa government service bago bumalik. Kaya parang welcome back. And this allows experienced workers to serve again kasi experience matters, of course. Next, reappointment. Dami na mga nun. So let's discuss reappointment. So reappointment refers to the issuance of an appointment. Wait nga, ano? Bangkola. Sasabihin ko na kung ano yung reinstatement. Reappointment muna tayo. So reappointment refers to the issuance of an appointment as a result of reorganization, devolution, salary standardization, renationalization, mga recatering, mga shon-shon. So, in simple terms po, reappointment means the employee is appointed again to continue government service because of changes in the organization or employment status. So, hindi ito bagong pasok sa serbisyo. Usually, may pagbabago lang sa plantilla, office structure, appointment status, or employment classification. But tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang service, walang interruption. So, ano mga situations dito? So, kapag ang employee ay from temporary appointment, naging permanent appointment, that is considered reappointment. Parang congrats, hindi ka na temporary, official ka na talaga, ganon. So, kapag lumipat from career service to non-career service naman or vice versa, it is also considered reappointment. So, even movement po from non-career position to non-career position may also be considered as reappointment. What else? The renewal of temporary, contractual, or casual appointments after the expiration is also considered appointment. So, kapag na-renew ang contract mo without break in service, reappointment po yun. And then, subsequent appointment of substitute teachers likewise considered reappointment. Halimbawa, sa Mr. Santos or si Agatha ay initially temporary employee because kulang sa eligibility. After passing the required eligibility examination, na-issuean siya ng permanent appointment. That is considered reappointment because there was only a change in appointment status and walang gap in service. So the key element in reappointment is continuity of service. So dapat walang interruption or break in employment. Kapag may gap sa service, ibang personal action na po yun. Okay? Yun, ito na. Bangkola. Ito na iniintay mo. Reinstatement. So ito yung tanong, di ba? Now let's discuss reinstatement. Maraming nalilito sa reemployment at reinstatement. Pero magkaiba sila. Sa reemployment, bumalik lang sa government. But in reinstatement, ibinalik ang employee dahil mali o improper ang pagkakahiwalay niya sa serbisyo. So, ang keyword dito is restoration. Kumbaga, parang ibabalik ka kasi hindi ka dapat natanggal. This usually happens when nanalo ang employee sa case or proven na walang fault or delinquency. So reinstatement is connected to correction of an improper separation. So if reinstated to the same position and available pa ang item, no new appointment may be needed. So unlike reappointment na parang bagong apply ulit, sa reinstatement po parang continuation ng dati niyang posisyon. Kasi ang idea dapat nandito ka pa rin talaga. But syempre, this follows legal procedures. Okay? Question. The imposition of additional or higher duties to be performed by a public official employee which is temporary and may be terminated anytime at the pleasure of the appointing authority is called reassignment, detail, designation, or promotion. Ano daw yung imposition ng additional or higher duties na piniperform ng isang public official pero temporary lang po siya at pwede siyang ma-terminate anytime. Hoy, John Paul, di ko sasabihin, bahala ka dyan. Kung ilang slides to. Applicable ba yan sa lahat ng work? I need your answers. Tingnan nyo. May be terminated anytime. Tandaan nyo to guys ha. May lumalabas na ganito sa aming time ata may 3. B for bitter. Hoy, si Arnel. Magaling to sa math si Arnel. Hi, Arnel. So, the answer for this po is designation. Okay, before we will, wala magre-reklamo ha. Before we will going to discuss designation, we'll discuss first po the reassignment. So another HR action is reassignment po. So reassignment means nililipat ang employee to another work assignment within the same agency. So ang keyword dito is same agency, different assignment. For example, nasa accounting ka, tapos nilipat ka sa budget office, but same agency pa rin. And importantly, walang reduction in rank, status, or salary. So, hindi siya promotion, hindi rin transfer to another agency. Operational movement lang siya. Usually, ginagawa ito to balance manpower. Bakit mo kasi binago yung sagot mo, Supremo? Again, so ba't ginagawa to? Maybe usually to balance manpower, improve operations, to address staffing needs. Kasi minsan po, kulang ng tao ang isang office. At minsan naman, sobra. But reassignment should not be used as punishment. Kasi bawal yung hindi kita gusto, ililipat kita sa bundok. Mapapatanong ka na lang, ano bang gusto mo para gustuhin mo ko? Ay, So the rules protect employees from abusive reassignment. Lagi na lang mali. Next, detail. So detail means hiram. Okay? Hiram. Hiram muna ang employee by another office or agency. So ang keyword dito is temporary borrowing. The employee temporarily works in another department or agency but officially connected pa rin siya sa original agency niya. For example, DOH employee temporarily assisting another government office, parang pahiram muna ng tao or pahiram muna ng asawa mo. Ay, drama. So unlike reassignment na within the same agency, sa detail po, pwedeng ibang agency na. But temporary lang dapat ito kasi hindi pwedeng forever naka-detail. Otherwise, hindi na detail yan. Parang permanent guest appearance na po yan. So, the rules po provide that detail shall only be for a maximum period of 3 years. So, hindi pwedeng forever naka-detail. Temporary assignment lang talaga ang purpose nito. So, detail without the employee's consent is allowed only for maximum period of 1 year lang. So, kung ayaw na ng employee, pwede pa rin siyang ma-detail temporarily but only up to 1 year. At after that, kailangan na ng consent. Huwag yung ipilit. Skip yun. So, detail must be covered by an agreement stating that there will be no reduction in rank, no reduction in status, and no reduction in salary. So, protected pa rin ang rights and benefits ng employee habang naka-detail. Ayan, kumupya ka pa kasi Supremo, wag ka na mangopya. Pahiram ng jowa. Pamaya, alo, paano mo ito? Didiscuss natin yung OIC na yan. So, guys, detail, for example, again, si Fire Inspector Reyes from BFP Quezon City ay temporarily assigned to the ILG Regional Office for what? Disaster coordination, for example. So, same rank pa rin siya as fire inspector, same salary pa rin, at temporary assignment lang po yun. So, that considered detail. Ang detail is temporary only kapag permanent transfer na with change of plantilla of office assignment, transfer na yun at hindi na po yun detail. Next, ito na. Designation. Now, makinig. Designation po refers to the imposition of additional and or higher duties to be performed by a public official or employee which is temporary and may be terminated anytime at the pleasure of the appointing authority. In simple terms, designation means dinagdagan lang ng duties or responsibilities ang employee temporarily. But take note, hindi ito new appointment. At hindi din automatic promotion. No po. At pwedeng tanggalin po ito anytime. So, additional responsibility lang muna. Parang ikaw muna bahala habang wala pa si boss. So, what are the type of designations? Meron po tayong concurrent capacity. Ibig sabihin, the employee performs the duties of another position which while still performing his or her original duties. So, dalawang trabaho minsan ang hawak. Double work, double stress. Pero ding full-time basis. So, the employee temporarily performs the duties of another position full-time. So, focus muna siya sa doon sa designated position. So, here, may nagtanong, ano yun daw yung OIC? Okay, guys. Acting capacity versus OIC or officer in charge is different po. Why? Okay, acting capacity. When designated in an acting capacity, the employee may exercise ministerial functions and discretionary powers attached to the position. So this is because the acting official is considered the incumbent of the position temporarily. Halimbawa, si Senior Fire Officer Santos ay designated as acting City Fire Marshal. Habang acting siya, pwede siyang mag-approve ng documents, gumawa ng decisions, at gamitin ang authority ng position. So, malawak ang powers niya. Whereas, yung OIC or Officer in Charge, An OIC has more limited powers. The OIC mainly handles admin functions and ensures continuity of office operations. So ang role niya is to keep the office functioning normally. So, halimbawa, ang isang senior fire officer ay designated as OIC habang naka-leave ang fire marshal. So usually, ang OIC nagmamanage lang ng daily operations pero limited ang discretion compared sa acting designation kasi nga OIC siya since naka-leave ang fire marshal, for example. Again, designation is temporary only and may be terminated anytime by the appointing authority. So kahit designated ka today, pwede ring matapos anytime kapag may officially appointed na in case of acting capacity. So, for AC comparison po, acting capacity may broader authority and discretion. Ang yung OIC naman ay limited admin powers only. Mas malawak ang authority ng acting compared sa OIC. Okay? Rosa, walang dagdag. Question: which of the following refers to the agency's system and guidelines in the recruitment select... Ay, lumabas to sa amin guys, sa aming time. Which of the following refers to the agency's system and guidelines in recruitment, selection, and promotion of employees based on merit and fitness? Ano do yung sistema at mga guideline sa recruitment, selection, promotion sa employees na nabe-base sa merit and fitness? Yes, the answer is letter B, merit selection plan. Alright. Next question. Which body assists the appointing authority in judicious and objective selection of candidates for appointment and promotion in government agency? Appointing authority ito B kasi may merit. In a judicious and objective selection of candidates for appointment and promotion in government. Letter B daw kasi sobrang haba. The answer po for this is the HRMPSB, Human Resource Merit Promotion and Selection Board. So, item B po ng Section 2, Article 9 of the 1987 Constitution, ang merit selection plan po ay appointments in the civil service shall be made according to merit and fitness to be determined as far as practicable and except to positions which are policy determining primarily confidential or highly technical by competitive examination. Also, there shall be no discrimination in the selection of employees on account of age, sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity, civil status, disability, religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation. Ganun po yung merit selection plan. Also, furthermore po, each agency po ng government may constitute two HRMPSP, PSB, whatever. So, one for the first and second level positions and other for second level executive managerial positions. So, sino po tong HRMPSB? Sila po yung nag-a-assess sa appointing officer or authority in the judicious and objective selection of candidates for appointment in the agency in accordance with the approved MSP or Merit Selection Plan. Next question. So all of the following are requirements for regular appointments except, sana alam nyo to ah, ang sagot po last previous question is merit selection. The next is HRMPSP. And then for these guys, all of these nasa choices are requirements for the regular appointments except po sa isa. Ano po 'yun? Grabe naman tawa ni Francis Valerie. Yes, the answer is letter D. So these are the requirements for regular appointments. My electronic file, 3 original copies of appointment form, personal data sheet, original copy of the authenticated certificate of eligibility, position description form, oath of office, and certification of assumption to duty. Familiarize lang po this one. Okay? Praise! Yun. Dito na si Praise. Praise means program on awards. Memorize nyo yan. So, isa to sa kailangan na i-memorize. So, program on awards and incentives for service excellence. Praise. Now, praise, this system po is designated to encourage creativity, innovativeness, efficiency, integrity, and productivity in public service. So it recognizes and rewards government officials and employees individually or as a groups for suggestions, inventions, superior accomplishments, outstanding performance, and extraordinary acts that contribute to better government operations. So in simple terms po, praise is the government's way to recognizing employees who perform exceptionally well. So, hindi lang puro memo kapag may mali. May recognition din kapag magaling. So, the purpose of this praise system is to encourage outstanding performance, promote creativity and innovation, strengthen integrity, and improve efficiency in government service. Diba? The government wants employees to continuously improve the quality of public service. So the program provides monetary awards and non-monetary awards. So what are the examples of recognized contributions? For example, guys, innovative ideas. So an employee develops a faster digital system for fire inspection processing, for example. So instead of manual processing na mabagal, laging mas mabilis at efficient ang serbisyo. So that innovation may be recognized under praise. So another example, a firefighter successfully leads a major rescue operation that saves many lives during a disaster. So that outstanding accomplishment may also qualify for recognition. Another, for example, an employee consistently demonstrates honesty, professionalism, discipline, and excellent public service. So those acts of integrity and education may also be rewarded. Now, bakit importante ang praise? Because recognition motivates employees. When employees feel appreciated, Morale improves, productivity increases, and service quality becomes better. It also promotes a culture of innovation, professionalism, teamwork, and efficiency in government offices. Kasi aminin natin kung sino ba yung mga empleyado dito. Mas ganado magtrabaho ang tao kapag na-appreciate yung effort nila. Diba? Hindi puro good morning lang ang reward after overtime. Naku po. So the praise system helps create a positive environment in the government service. So it encourages employees to perform better, think creatively, maintain integrity, and provide quality service to the public. So the praise system is designed to recognize and reward government employees for creativity, innovation, integrity, productivity, and outstanding performance. Diba? Sana all sa inyo, future government employees. Merong ganun po. Okay. Memorandum Circular Number 2016-016 Prohibition on BFP personnel from engaging in impropriety and or corruption in enforcement of the fire code. So this memorandum circular po was issued to strengthen professionalism, integrity, and accountability among BFP personnel. It reminds all personnel that public service must always be honest, ethical, and free from corruption. The circular also emphasizes that 9514 or the fire code must be enforced properly and fairly. So the BFP observed that despite previous reminders and issuances, there were still reports and complaints involving improper and unethical acts committed by some personnel po. And because of those complaints, public trust and confidence in the organization were affected. Right? So, kaya inilabas po tong circular na to para paigtingin ang disiplina at sugpuin ang corruption at improper practices. Kasi ang fire safety enforcement hindi po negosyo at lalong hindi sideline. Public service po yan. At kapag may corruption, hindi lang pangalan ng personal ang desisira, hindi naman sabay yung chop suey, day say din. Ang buong organization na dalamay, BFP po. Hindi po pangalan nyo. That is why the circular reminds all BFP personnel to always uphold professionalism, integrity, honesty, and performance in duty. Okay. Question. So all of the following are considered prohibited acts of BFP personnel under the MC number 2016-016 except po sa isa. Show your answers. Be careful ha, sabi, prohibited acts except isa. Lahat po ng choices are prohibited acts except po sa isa. I only see 2, 3 correct answers, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Guys, kailangan nyo talagang basahin na maayos. Okay? Sabi, prohibited acts daw. Lahat except sa isa. So, ang isa dito, hindi po prohibited act yun. Okay? Hindi po bawal yun. Yes, and the answer is assessing and collecting fire safety inspection fees in relation to fire code enforcement. So, ano po yung mga prohibited acts? So there are several acts that are strictly prohibited because they are considered abuses of authority and acts that damage the integrity of the BFP. Number one, selling, tandaan nyo to, prohibited po yung selling fire extinguishers or firefighting equipment. BFP personnel are prohibited from directly or indirectly engaging in the selling of fire extinguishers or any firefighting equipment. So this includes direct selling, commissions, referrals, or hidden business arrangements. Kasi nga po, conflict of interest na po yan. Hindi pwedeng inspector ka na, sales agent ka pa. Kasi baka mamaya, inspection muna, tapos sabay, sir, may promo kami, buy one, take one. Ay, even dealer yarn. So the law wants inspections and recommendations to remain objective, fair, and professional. Second, acting as agents or endorsers of suppliers or manufacturers. So personnel are also prohibited from acting or posing as agents, endorsers, or representatives of suppliers, dealers, or manufacturers of firefighting equipment. So this prevents po favoritism and unfair business influence kasi kapag may favoritism, nawawala ang fairness at minsan nagiging recommended by kuya. Hindi pwedeng, sir, ito bilhin nyo kasi kakilala ko to. Kasi ang trabaho ng BFP personnel mag-inspect, hindi mag-vlog ng sponsored products. Next, the circular also prohibits recommending grossly excessive numbers of fire extinguishers or firefighting equipment without proper justification under the fire code. So recommendation should always be based on occupancy, floor area, hazard classification, of course, the fire code standards. Kasi minsan ang kailangan, 2 extinguisher lang pero ginawang 10. Parang buy one, take 9. At minsan feeling mo hindi fire safety kundi wholesale business. So the purpose of fire safety enforcement is protection, not profit. Hala, may kakilala si Sheila. Secret lang natin yan, Sheila. So next, BFP personnel are prohibited from requiring applicants to automatically refill or recharge portable fire extinguishers annually if the equipment is still compliant with existing standards and in good condition. Inspection and maintenance should always follow official technical standards. Hindi pwedeng recharge ulit, sir, kahit okay pa. Kasi hindi ATM machine ang fire extinguisher, guys, at hindi rin monthly subscription. The law requires fairness and technical basis in all recommendations. Next, delaying the FSIC or the FSEC and other permits or clearances without valid reason are also prohibited. Why? The processing should follow the prescribed period stated in the BFP Citizens Charter. Kasi bawal ang pending pa po. Pero wala namang dahilan. At minsan complete na lahat pero feeling mo nasa waiting shed pa rin ang application. So the circular reminds personnel that unnecessary delay is a form of abuse of authority. Next, the circular strictly prohibits asking, soliciting, or receiving money, favors, commissions, gifts, or any monetary consideration from manufacturers, dealers, suppliers, and applicants. This includes direct or indirect solicitation. Kasi ang serbisyo publiko, hindi may kasamang service charge. At lalong hindi pampadulas. Kasi kapag may lagayan, nasisira ang tiwala ng publiko. So the law requires all public servants to act with honesty, integrity, and professionalism. Next, personnel are also prohibited from disallowing the use of fire extinguishers that are still allowed under existing DNR rules and regulations. This means po, enforcement should also be based on official standards, regulations, and technical guidelines. Hindi pwedeng gawa-gawa lang ng sariling rules. The circular reminds all personnel that enforcement should always be lawful, fair, objective, and based on the fire code. Kasi ang trabaho ng BFP magtupad ng batas, hindi gumawa ng sariling version. Kaya ang tunay na public servant po, hindi namamantala at hindi rin nagpapalakad at hindi ginagamit ang posisyon para sa personal na interest. So may mga penalties po yun. Ito, person may be relieved immediately from current position. Meron ding mga admin or criminal cases may be filed. Meron ding preventive suspension may be imposed. And admin sanctions. So, pag guilty ang personnel na yon, pwede siyang ma-remove from the service. Ano po yung pampadulas? Suspension, pera po, pera. Other accessory penalties and reinstatement only if absorbed from charges. So, ganun po yun. So, we are here na sa last topic for tonight, the Republic Act number 11032, Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Services Delivery Act of 2018. So this law po amended the Republic Act 9485 or Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007. Ang pangunahing layunin ng batas na ito ay gawing mas mabilis, mas simple, mas transparent, at mas efficient ang delivery ng serbisyo ng gobyerno sa publiko. Sa lalim ng batas na po ito, lahat ng government agencies ay inaatasang bawasang red tape. Ano yung red tape? Yung sobrang bagal, paulit-ulit at komplikadong proseso sa government transactions. Kapag sinabi natin red tape, ito yung sobrang daming requirements, paulit-ulit na perma. Hindi nawawala sa Pilipinas. Pabalik-balik na proseso at minsan hindi malinaw na instructions. At dahil dito maraming tao ang naaabala, nasasayang ang oras. At minsan nawawalan pa ng opportunity. So the law promotes integrity, accountability, proper management of public affairs, transparency, and prevention of graft and corruption. Kainis. Nainis ako sa words na yan. In the government, no? So, ang goal ng 11032 ay pabilisin ang serbisyo, alisin ang unnecessary procedures, at gawing mas convenient ang transaction sa gobyerno. Kasi aminin natin, guys, minsan dati, mas mabilis pa maubos ang load natin, yung data natin, kaysa matapos ang pila sa government office. Naubos ang data kakascroll. Minsan, pagpasok mo, umaga, paglabas mo, may sunset na. At minsan, simpleng document lang naman ang kailangan mo pero feeling mo, naka-survival challenge ka. Photocopy dito, perma doon, balik bukas, tapos may kulang pa pala. Kaya ang mensahe ng RA 11032 ay simple lang. Ang serbisyo publiko ay dapat mabilis, maayos, at hindi pahirap sa ating mga tao. So the Republic Act 11032 was signed into law on May 28, 2018 and became effective on June 17, 2018. So this law is considered a game changer because it transformed how government offices process applications, permits, licenses, clearances, and other transactions. So before RA 11032, maraming reklamo tungkol sa mabagal na proseso, mahabang pila, delayed approvals, at hindi malinaw na procedures. Kaya ginawa ang batas na ito upang gawing mas mabilis, mas transparent, at mas efficient. Dati kasi minsan, ang processing parang teleserye. Ang haba ng waiting time, maraming episode bago matapos. Parang teleserye ni Cardo Dalisay, guys. Kung hindi nagka-pandemic, nako, baka hindi pa rin matapos. At minsan sasabihin, balik ka na lang bukas. Tapos kinabukasan, balik ka ulit next week. Hanggang sa feeling mo may character development na kayo ng guard. But under RA 11032, may prescribed processing time na. So, hindi na pwedeng balikan na lang bukas. Forever. Nakala mo naman, may forever. Kasi ngayon, may accountability na ang government offices. Okay? So, RA 11032 focuses on 4 important reforms that aim to improve government service delivery. First is promoting good regulatory practices. pinapaganda nito ang sistema at procedures ng gobyerno. Inaalis ang outdated, redundant, and unnecessary requirements. Second, setting standards and prescribed processing time. May malinaw ng limit sa processing time. Hindi na pwedeng walang deadline ng processing. Na-develop na daw sa GART. Sino gumawa ng batas na yan? Ayos yan, pero di yata effective. Baka Hoy, Supremo. Third, government technology. Mas ginamit na ang online systems, automation, at electronic processing. And lastly, re-engineering government systems and procedures. Basically, the goal ng batas na to ay gawing less stress and transactions. Kasi noon, minsan complicated pag mag-apply ng permit kaysa mag-move on sa X. Nako, at least yung X minsan, sin zone ka lang. Pero sa government office dati, literal na, balik ka na lang sa Friday. Pero di naman sinabing sa May ba? Sa 2026 na Friday? Sa 2027 na Friday? Or baka 28 pa yan? Nako po. So, RA 11032 po applies to all government offices and agencies. Kabilang dito ang national government agencies, mga LGUs, mga government-owned and controlled corporations or GOCC, at ibang government instrumentalities here and abroad. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang ito para sa isang ahensya. Lahat ng government offices na nagbibigay serbisyo sa publiko ay covered ng batas na ito, whether business-related or non-business transactions. Sakop ng RA 11032 to. Kaya bawal na ang linyahang ganito talaga dito sa amin. Now, hindi na pwedeng tradisyon ang mabagal na serbisyo. Kasi ang pagiging mabagal, hindi culture. Problema po yun. So, one of the most important features po with the RA 11032 is the establishment of prescribed processing time for all government transactions. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng walang deadline na pagproseso ng applications, ng permits, ng licenses, at iba pang government transactions. Under the law, applications or requests submitted to government offices must be acted upon within the processing time stated in the Citizens Charter. So the law provides 3 classifications of transactions. We have 3 days for simple transactions. So these are applications or requests that require only ministerial actions and involve inconsequential issues for resolution by the officer or employee. So, ibig sabihin, simple verification at routine processing lang ang kailangan. For example, issuance of clearances, certifications, mga routine requests with complete documents. So, kapag simple transaction, dapat matapos within 3 working days. Kasi 3 days. Kasi kung simple lang naman, hindi na dapat po pinapahaba kung simple lang naman. Bakit ang hilig-hilig nyo sa mahaba? Next, for complex transaction, we have 7 days. So these are applications or requests that require evaluation and resolution of complicated issues by a government officer or employee. So mas nangangailangan po ito ng assessment, review, inspection, or verification. For example, if FSIC or Fire Safety Inspection Certification, Fire Safety Evaluation Clearance, and other related application. Kaya mas mahaba po ng kaunti ang processing time dahil may actual evaluation and inspection na involved. Hindi pwedeng bara-barang approval lalo ng public safety ang involved. Lastly, 20 days for highly technical transactions. So these are transactions that require the use of technical knowledge, specialized skills under training in the processing and evaluation. What are those? So, examples are specialized engineering evaluations, mga hazardous materials, or mga technicals pa. So these require experts or technical personnel to properly assess the application. Kaya mas mahaba ang allowable processing period because technical expertise is needed. So ngayon, may malinaw ng maximum processing period. So this promotes accountability and efficiency in government service. Sige, hindi ka na mahilig sa mahaba, Supremo. So kaya kapag simple lang, hindi pwedeng abutin ng forever. Kasi minsan, dati, simple transaction lang, pero feeling mo, naka-season 5 ka na ng paghihintay. At minsan, mas close pa yung guard kaysa sa approving officer. Minsan, alam na ng guard yung buong buhay mo. Sabihin pa, sir, bumalik na naman kayo. So the RA 11032 government offices are now required to act within the prescribed period to ensure faster and more efficient public service. Automatic approval. So one of the strongest and most important provisions po of the Republic Act 11032 is the concept of automatic approval. Ano po ito? So this provision protects the applicants and requesting parties from unnecessary delays po in government transactions. Under the law, if a government office or agency fails to approve or disapprove an application within the prescribed processing time, the application may already be considered automatically approved, provided, of course, that complete documentary requirements were submitted, all required fees and charges were properly paid. So the acknowledgement receipt together with the OR may already serve as proof and may have the same force and effect as the actual permit or license or certification. So ito ang isa sa pinakamalakas na protections na binibigay ng RA 11032 sa publiko. Kasi dati, may mga applications na naiipit or natatambakan ng walang malinaw na dahilan. Minsan, complete na lahat ng requirements. Nakapagbayad ka na. Pero ang sagot pa rin, balik ka next week. But under RA 11032, government agencies are required to act within the prescribed processing period. Kasi hindi pwedeng i-hostage ang application mo nang walang dahilan. So the law promotes accountability and efficiency in public service. At malaking tulong ito lalo na sa mga negosyo, di ba? At ordinaryong mamamayan na nangangailangan ng mabilis na serbisyo. Parang relationship lang. Kapag walang response within reasonable time, automatic, move on. Move on, guys. So this provision reminds government offices that delays have consequences and that public service must always be timely, responsive, and efficient. We also have here another important reform introduced by the said RA. Palawan, walang kuskus malus. So the limitation of signatories. So under the law, the number of signatories required in any document shall be limited to maximum of 3 signatures only. So these signatures should come only after the officers directly supervising the office or agency concerned. So the purpose of this provision is to reduce unnecessary delays, excessive routing of documents, and redundant approval process. Kasi dati, minsan sobrang daming pipirma na parang bawat office gusto may autograph or para bang nagpa-clearance tuwing exam. At dahil dito, tumatagal lalo ang processing. Instead na mabilis matapos, umiikot pa ang dokumento sa iba't ibang mesa, sa iba't ibang opisina. Minsan, mas marami pang napupuntahang office yung dokumento kaysa sa mismong employee. At minsan, isang firma na lang kulang. Pero, worst, nakalive pala yung signatory. Tapos, hahanapin mo pa kung saan. So, to address this problem, this RA 11032 also allows the use of electronic signatures or pre-signed documents with proper security mechanisms. So this helps speed the transactions and improve efficiency. So ang goal ng batas ay simple. Less routing, less waiting time, less unnecessary signatures, and faster government service. Kasi hindi naman paramihan ng perma ang sukatan ng magandang serbisyo, di ba? Ang importante, mabilis, maayos, at efficient ang proseso. And this provision reminds government offices that procedures should help people, not delay them unnecessarily. Citizens Charter. The establishment of a Citizens Charter in every government office and agency. The Citizens Charter po serves as the official guide of the public regarding government transactions and services. So it contains the official service standards of government agencies. Isang perma, 1.5 kaya madali ang iba. Nako, fixer yan. So according to the law, the Citizens Charter must include, so nakikita nyo po sa Citizens Charter ang checklist of requirements, yung step-by-step procedures, yung responsible person, prescribed processing time, amount of fees, required documents, and even the complaint procedures. It must also be visibly posted. Nakapost po yan sa government offices at nakapublish pa yan sa agency website. And written in English, Filipino, or local dialect for easier understanding by the public. The purpose of the Citizens Charter is to promote transparency again, accountability and efficiency. Yun naman talaga. Ibig sabihin, malinaw dapat sa publiko kung paano ang proseso. Dapat alam agad ng applicant ano ang requirements, saan pupunta, sino ang lalapitan, magkano ang babayaran, at gaano katagal ang processing. This helps prevent confusion, unnecessary delays, and corruption. Kaya bawal na yung, ay sir, may kulang pa pala sir. Dapat lahat ng requirements nakapost na agad. Hindi pwedeng surprise package ang requirements kasi nga minsan dati feeling mo tapos ka na. Tapos may hidden mission pa pala. Pagbalik mo may bago na namang requirement. So the Citizens Charter also protects the public from arbitrary procedures and unnecessary requirements kasi kung wala sa Citizens Charter, hindi dapat i-require yun. And through this system, government agencies become more accountable to the people they serve. So kasi ang goal nga again ng 11032, gawing malinaw, mabilis at maayos ang serbisyong publiko. Meron din tayong zero contact policy. Ano zero contact? Para kayo, zero contact. So under this policy, government officers and employees shall avoid unnecessary contact with applicants or requesting parties during the processing of applications and requests. This means po that once the application is received and initially assessed, there should be minimal or unnecessary personal interaction between the applicant and the processing personnel. Tandaan niyo po yan. Allowed lang ang interaction kapag strictly necessary, such as preliminary assessments of documents, clarification of requirements, or evaluation of the application. So this law also encourages the use of online systems, electronic processing, automation, and web-based applications. Yeah, the main purpose po ng zero contact policy is to prevent corruption, favoritism. Favorite kasi maganda, kasi gwapo, kasi mayaman. Ano pa? Fixing under the table transactions and abuse of description. Kasi minsan kapag sobrang daming unnecessary interaction, doon pumapasok ang fixer. At minsan may linyahang, sir, tulungan ko kayo, mapabilis. Ayan na, red flag na. The law wants government transactions to be professional, transparent, and fair. Dapat pare-pareho ang proseso para sa lahat. Walang palakasan, walang VIP treatment, at walang kilala mo ba ako system. Dapat transaction lang, hindi networking event at hindi rin meet and greet. Because under RA 11032, government service should be based on rules, procedures, and transparency, not on personal connections. So this policy protects both the applicant and the government employee. Kasi kapag malinaw at formal ang proseso, mas mababa ang pagkakataon ng corruption at misunderstanding. And ultimately, the zero contact policy helps build public trust and confidence in government service because naiiwasan yung mga fixers, yung mga corruptions. BIR and Customs. Ay, may special mention dito na government agency by Supremo. Next, and under the RA 11032, guys, local government units or LGUs are required to establish BOSS or business one-stop shop. So the BOSS serves as a single place or centralized area where business-related applications are received, processed, and coordinated. So the purpose po ng BOSS is to make business registration, permit processing faster, simpler, and more convenient for the public. Instead of going from one office to another office, the applicant can process transactions in one location. Kasama rito ang processing of permits, licenses, clearances, certifications, and other authorizations needed for business operations. So the law also requires the co-location of offices involved in business processing, kagaya ng Treasury Office, mga business permits, licensing office, zoning office, BFP, and other concerned offices. So this reduces unnecessary movement and delays. Kasi dati, parang amazing race ang pagkuha ng permit from one office to another office. Tapos may bonus round pa yan. Minsan paakyat, pababa ka pa ng building. Parang cardio workout na rin. Ay, pwede ako dito. Mag-cardio ako. Para mas pumayat ako. So at minsan, kulang na lang may checkpoint at elimination round. Kapag mali ang photocopy mo, game over. But with the boss, mas organized as mas convenient na ang proseso. This also helps reduce long lines, repetitive procedures, confusion, and other opportunities for fixing and corruption. The goal of RA 1132 is to make sure that transactions to the government is easier po, okay? Hindi challenge sa permit processing. And through the BOSS system, government services become more efficient, coordinated, and accessible to the public. Also, BOSS may also be electronic or online. So this means that LGU are encouraged, guys, encouraged and mandated to automate their business permitting and licensing systems. In fact, the law requires cities and municipalities to establish an electronic BOSS or automated business permitting system within 3 years from the effectivity of the law. So the purpose of automation is to make government transactions faster and more accessible. So through the electronic BOSS, applicants may now enjoy online submission of applicants, uploading of requirements, electronic processing. So this reduces physical queues and unnecessary face-to-face transactions. Mas convenient to. Hindi mo na kailangang mag-absent para lang pumila buong araw. At hindi mo na kailangan gumising na madaling araw para makipag-unahan sa monoblock chair alas 5 ng umaga. Kasi dati, minsan bago ka makapasok sa office, may pila na parang concert ticket selling ng Blackpink. At minsan may unofficial reservation system pa yan ng upuan. With automation and online systems, transactions become more organized and efficient, diba? Red tape. So, sinabi ko na kanina kung ano yung red tape. Diba? Red tape, one of the main problems addressed by this Republic Act po is red tape. Okay? One of the main problems addressed by the RA 11032 is red tape. Hindi po to electrical tape, hindi po to scotch tape, packaging tape. Red tape refers to excessive, burdensome, and inefficient procedures that delay government transactions and public services. So these are unnecessary processes that create slow, complicated, Scarlett, complicated and undesirable outcomes for applicants and the public. So ano yung mga examples ng red tape? Mga long lines, mga maraming signatures, mga repeated submissions, mga unnecessary requirements, mga delayed approvals, at kung ano pa. Kung ang goal ng RA 11032 3.2 ay tanggalin o bawasan red tape sa gobyerno. The law wants government transactions to become simpler, faster. Diba? Kasi minsan, dati simpleng transaction lang, pero parang obstacle course na ang proseso. Photocopy dito, perma doon, balik bukas, tapos may kulang pa pala, at minsan ang folder mo lang ang mabilis, pero yung proseso hindi. At minsan, mas mabilis pa ang lunch break kaysa processing. So, red tape affects ordinary citizens, employees, businesses. So, that is why the law introduced reforms such as prescribed processing, citizens charter, zero contact policy, mga boss, mga automations, because this law reminds government offices that procedures should help people, not burden them unnecessarily. Kasi ang serbisyong publiko dapat hindi mahirap or hindi pahirap. Dapat maayos, mabilis at makatao. Ito na ang favorite word nyo. Another important issue addressed by RA 11032 is the problem of fixers. A fixer is a person who facilitates the processing of transactions for money, gifts, favors, commissions, or any personal gain. Usually, fixers promise to speed up transactions, bypass procedures, influence government personnel, or secure approvals through illegal means. Illegal po yan, guys. Fixing is strictly prohibited under RA 11032. So the law imposes admin, civil, and criminal liabilities against fixers, government employees involved in fixing, and persons who cooperate in illegal facilitation of transactions. So this is because fixing promotes corruption, favoritism, again, unfairness and abuse of authority. Kaya kapag may nagsabi, "Sir, ako na bahala, mapapabilis natin yan." Ayan na, red flag na yan. Kapag may kakilala sa loob, delikado na yan. The law encourages all transactions to follow official procedures only. Kasi ang tunay na mabilis na serbisyo, hindi dapat may lagayan. Hindi rin dapat kailangan ng backer. Dapat equal ang treatment sa lahat. Whether ordinary citizen ka o may kakilala ka, pareho dapat ang proseso. And we have here the ARTA. To ensure the proper implementation of Republic Act 11032, the government created the Anti-Red Tape Authority or ARTA. ARTA serves as the primary government agency po, responsible for promoting efficient, transparent, and accountable public service. So it acts as the watchdog against red tape, corruption, fixing, and inefficient government procedures. So the functions of ARTA are to implement anti-red tape policies, monitor compliance of government agencies, investigate complaints, assist the complainants, recommend reforms, and improve ease of doing business in the country. So ARTA may also conduct inspections, guys, compliance monitoring, and investigations involving violations of the RA 11032. So this ensures that government agencies continuously improve their services and comply with the standards set by the law. Kaya kapag may unnecessary delay, repeated requirements, fixing, or violation with the Citizens Charter, pwedeng magreklamo. At may ahensyang pwedeng umaksyon. Hindi pwedeng ganito talaga dito since 1988. Kasi ang goal ng batas ay continuous improvement. So the creation of ARTA reminds all government agencies that public service must always be, again, efficient and responsive to the needs of the people. Kasi ang gobyerno, guys, gobyerno ay para sa publiko. Hindi ang publiko ang mag-a-adjust palagi. And here are the violations under the RA 1132. Hindi lang sila nagpo-promote ng efficient government service. They also identify acts and practices that are considered violation of the law. So these violations are prohibited because they cause delay, inconvenience, unfairness, and corruption in government transactions. So as you can see, we have here first the refusal to accept complete applications. So this happens when a government employee refuses to accept an application even if the applicant already submitted complete documentary requirements. Kasi minsan, complete naman lahat, pero sabihin, balik na lang po kayo. Favorite word yun talaga yan. The law protects applicants from unreasonable refusal or transactions. Second, asking for additional requirements. Government offices are prohibited from requiring additional documents not included in the citizen's charter. If the requirement is not usually listed or officially listed, it should not suddenly appear during processing. Kaya bawal na yung, ay sir, may additional requirement pa pala, pero wala naman sa Citizens Charter. So, next, delaying transaction without valid reason. One of the most common violations is unreasonable delay in processing applications. Government offices are required to act within, again, the prescribed processing time. Kaya hindi pwedeng pending pa rin po kahit 3 months na at minsan mas matagal pa yung process kaysa relasyon nyo. So next, failure to issue official receipts. So the law also requires proper issuance of official receipts and acknowledgement receipts. So this promotes transparency and accountability in government transactions kasi bawal ang trust me bro system. Dapat documented at official lahat ng bayaran. Excuse me. Next, collusion with the fixers. Guys, government employees are strictly prohibited from collaborating or dealing with fixers. This includes giving special treatment, facilitating illegal transactions, or intentionally delaying processing to encourage fixing. Kasi kapag may fixer, nasisira ang fairness ng sistema at nawawala ang tiwala natin, right? Nating publiko. So that's why the RA 11032 strictly prohibits fixing and corruption in government transactions. So what are the penalties? To ensure compliance with the RA 11032, the law imposes admin and criminal penalties against violators. So these penalties apply to government employees, officers, and even private individuals involved in prohibited acts such as fixing and corruption. So first offense po, for the first offense, the penalty is suspension of 6 months. So this serves as a warning and disciplinary action against the violator. Kasi ang public service may kasama accountability. Hindi pwedeng nagkamali lang po. Kapag may violation, may consequence dapat. Second offense. For the second offense naman, the penalties become much heavier. Penalties include dismissal from service. Ang hirap-hirap pumasok sa government, tas madidismiss ka lang dahil sa pinagagawa mo. Naku po, naghahanap ka lang ng problema mo. Next, perpetual disqualification from holding public office, imprisonment from 1 to 6 years, and a fine ranging from 500,000 to 2 million pesos. Okay lang guys, 500,000 to 2 million pesos lang naman yan. Afford nyo yan. Sige. These penalties show how serious the government is in fighting the red tape, fixing corruption, and inefficient public service. Kasi ang trabaho sa gobyerno, hindi privilege para manlamang, kundi responsibilidad para maglingkod. So under this law, public officials and employees are expected to provide honest, efficient, and accountable service to the people. Kasi ang tunay na public servant, hindi nagpapahirap, hindi nagpapalakad, at lalong hindi nagpapabayad para lang makabilis ang proseso. The law reminds everyone that public office is a public trust, and violations of that trust have corresponding penalties. And guys, that's the end of our discussion for tonight, and I will be seeing you tomorrow again at 6:30 p.m. Maganda topic natin bukas, guys. So, everyone, thank you so much for staying. Yeah, I love people who stays. Sir Jerome. Saan ba si Sir Jerome? Nagkatuluyan na ang guard sa sobrang tagal.
Good evening, ma'am. Sorry po. Ay, sorry. Okay. So, tapos na po, sir, ma'am, yung discussion natin for tonight. Hopefully, marami kayo natutunan, no? Bukas, ulit, administrative matters pa rin with Ma'am Jaylee. So, sabi niya, bukas mag-open cam na po daw siya. Para mas kami Supremo. Sir.
Wala akong sinabi, sir. Ay, sir, sabi ko sa kanila kung sino yung mga Cagayan de Oro City, I can meet with them. Pwede ko silang mag-meet po. Maybe sa 24, ngayong 24. So, pwede ko silang malebre. Pwede kong magbigay ng tips sa techniques personally. So, chat nyo na lang ako kung sinong available.
Alright. So, 24. Yes, 24, ma'am. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
Okay, sige. So, alam niyo na, taga Region 10. O kahit hindi siguro taga CDO, kung gusto lang. Pwede po. Okay. So, thank you so much, Ma'am Jaylee Christ. So, napakaganda ng discussion natin tonight. Bukod po sa iyo. So, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Sir Jerome. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, ma'am din mga. Ada mo sa mong slides, ma'am. Para
sige, sir. Akong
yes, thank you.